it's a pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today. She is a financial analyst and currently works as a finance manager. She has been using Microsoft Excel extensively since then. She does data analysis for due diligence projects, financial analysis, and forecasting for new market entries and creating dashboards. And today, she will teach us intermediate Excel skills that can help expedite daily tasks and create dynamic reports. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our speaker, Georgette Estabillo.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so
Hi,
hi, JC.
yes,
Hi.
hello.
Okay. So before I introduce myself further, I have a question muna for all the participants. I think I'll be able to see you guys here. So just click the raise hand button if your answer is yes to this question. So ang question ko muna is, do you have extra time to do other activities after 6 p.m. after your work? So whether it be working out, doing your hobbies, or doing sports. Okay, so please click the raise hand button if your answer is yes. Okay, good. 1, 2, 3. So there are a few of you who raised your hands. So that's a good sign. Pero nakikita ko din na marami ang hindi nag-raise ng hand. So ang goal ko for today is to be able to help you do your work faster so that hopefully after 6 p.m. You have time to do other activities na. So to do your hobbies and other personal activities. So as the saying goes nga, di ba, work smarter, not harder. So I'll be teaching you some tricks on Excel para mapabilis yung trabaho nyo sa Microsoft Excel. Okay. So let me just introduce myself. I'm Georgette Estabillo. I'm the finance manager and lead analyst in ANC Associates. So I've been in the F&B or food and beverage industry for 13 years. So I started my career with KFC Philippines as financial analyst. And from then on, I was able to work with several local and international food and beverage brands, such as the Maxis Group, Popeyes UK, Haagen-Dazs, what else? Nando's, and many other brands. So I worked in several types of projects in ANC, but the main three projects that I work on are due diligence projects, rescue and repair, and lastly, new market launches. So due diligence projects, what we do there is to advise our clients whether a business is worth investing in or not. Sa rescue and repair naman, we look into the different companies that engage us and check or identify and implement potential improvements in their business that can turn around their performance. So iba kasi, kunyari, lugi ngayon. So we will identify their next steps to turn around their business. And then lastly, we also help with new market launches. So for example, if a company in, let's say, the UK wanted to open Popeyes restaurants there, then we help them from the pre-opening phase. So that includes planning the menu, the pricing, the construction of the restaurants. So from the pre-opening up until the expansion phase. So kunyari gusto nilang mag-open ng up to 50 stores in 10 years, then we help them until that time. Okay, so in all of the work that I do in ANC Associates, I use a lot of Excel. So I'll be sharing with you some tricks that you can do para mas mapabilis yung paggawa niyo ng Excel reports and mas mapaganda yung mga dashboards or Excel reports that you do in your work. Why do we need to learn Excel? So Excel is a very powerful program that can help you organize your data and analyze your data. Apart from that, It saves you a lot of time in creating your reports, and it also reduces human error. So imagine mo na lang, kung binigyan ka ng stacks of paper, nandun yung sales data nyo, tapos sinabi sa'yo, i-analyze mo yon, alamin mo kung ano yung total sales nyo this year versus last year. Sobrang hirap, diba? So that's why we learn Excel, because it helps you save time in creating those reports. And at the same time, it reduces human error kasi yung calculation is done by Excel na eh. You don't have to add the numbers one by one. Kunyari sa Excel, i-sum mo lang, diba? Lalabas na yung total for you. So Excel does it for you already. Okay. So our topics for today, we have 3 main topics. So first, I will be teaching you powerful Excel functions. After that, I'll be teaching you some charting techniques. And then lastly, some Excel features that can help you create dynamic Excel reports. Okay, so when I discuss with you the Excel functions later, I only actually selected 6 Excel functions because since we have limited time today, we only have 2 hours. I selected these 6 functions because through time, ito talaga yung pinaka ginagamit ko when creating my analysis and Excel reporting. Okay. And then after we have discussed etong tatlo na to, our main goal is to teach you how to create something like this. So this is a dashboard, a sample sales dashboard. So with everything that you're gonna learn today, magagawa niyo na to. Okay. And this example shows you the sales performance, for example. But magagamit nyo to regardless of the industry or the department you're in. So I think JC, you mentioned earlier, meron tayong mga taga-supply chain, meron tayong taga-marketing, and I know we also have people from the Philippine Air Force in this learning session today. So kunwari sa supply chain, you can monitor your KPIs here. So kunyari, yung presyo ng manok, pwede mo siyang ipakita dito. And your other KPIs, whether it be the availability of supply or yung breakdown ng presyo per supplier kasi nag-iiba-iba yan, diba? If you're from marketing, for example, you work in a consumer fast-moving goods company, meron kayong products like dairy, meron kayong products, let's say, like cereal, canned goods, and so on. And tinanong ka ng boss mo, okay, nag-grow yung sales natin from X to Y. Anong reason? Was it because of the canned goods? Was it because of the other products, and so on? So maraming application ng dashboard. Even in the Philippine Air Force, for example, since flying unit kayo, ang pinaka-monitor nyo, as far as I know, are your flying hours. So if you have, let's say, a dashboard like this, hindi tuwing tatanungin ka, okay, ilang oras yung nilipad ko today, or ilang oras yung nilipad ko this month, last month, and so on. Di ba parang ang hirap na babalik ka na naman sa data mo, i-add mo lahat, paulit-ulit. So you do that every time someone asks you, ilang oras na ba? Pero if you have a dashboard like this, pag tinanong ka, okay, piliin mo lang, gusto mo ba yung total flying hours? Or if there's a specific person na gusto lang malaman yung lipad niya, pwede mo i-select yun, lalabas na kagad. Pwede rin mapakita mo yung trend na kunyari last year, it was this hours, this year, tumaas because of COVID, mas maraming lipad, ganon. So, etong skill na to, it's applicable kahit saang industry ka or kahit saang department ka. Okay? So, going back, we'll start with the Excel functions first. Let me put this on present mode. So first we have the Excel functions. By the way, after I discuss the 6 Excel functions, we'll have a short game. So whoever wins will get a 500 peso GCash prize. So hopefully everyone can join in. Okay. All right. So Excel functions, let's start with VLOOKUP. So Background lang, actually during my first day of work at KFC, ito yung pinakaunang function na natutunan ko on my first day. Okay. And since more staffing already held a basic Excel class before this, hindi ko na sinama yung mas mga basic Excel functions sa learning session na ito. So let's start with VLOOKUP. What is VLOOKUP? VLOOKUP searches a list for a value in the leftmost column and returns the corresponding value from the adjacent columns. Okay. So ulitin natin. Ano ba yung VLOOKUP? Kunyari tinanong ka, dito meron tayong data. Kunyari tinanong ka, ano bang age ni Beth? Ano ba yung hiring date ni Beth? So you can use VLOOKUP para ma-display yung data na yun ng mabilis. Okay? So your lookup value is in the leftmost columns kasi nandito si Beth, diba? And you want to return the age, which is in the next column, or the hiring date. So in this scenario, you can use VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is short for vertical lookup, which means yung data mo is arranged vertically. So kunyari, yung name mo is arranged vertically from top to bottom, yung age arranged vertically from top to bottom, and so on. Okay, so how do you create the VLOOKUP function? Punta tayo sa spreadsheet. So at first, if I think some of you guys already know how to use this function, pero yung iba baka hindi pa. So at first, medyo mahirap lang siyang gawin or gamitin. Pero gawin mo lang siya like 2 days, 3 days, you'll get the hang of it. Okay. So how do we use VLOOKUP? You just put the equal sign, type VLOOKUP, open parenthesis, and then you have to click the lookup value. So actually, si Excel magaling siya kasi meron ng prompt dito eh. Sasabihin na niya sa'yo kung ano yung kailangan mo ilagay. So in this case, yung lookup value mo is Beth kasi tinanong kayo, ano bang hiring date ni Beth? Okay, so i-click natin yung cell which contains Beth's name. Then put comma. Next, put the table array. So ano ba yung table array? Yun yung collection of data kung nasan yung data mo. So select mo lang from B2 to E6. That's your table array. Okay. Click comma ulit. And since you want to know the hiring date, kailangan mo daw ilagay susunod yung column index number. Okay. So yung hiring date, pag tingnan mo yung data, pang ilan ba yung hiring date dito? Yung first column mo is name, second column mo is age, third column mo is the hiring date. So that means your column index number is 3 because again, it's the third item in your array. Name, age, hiring date. So let's put 3, comma, and then false. Okay. So, and then close parenthesis. So, ayan, lalabas na yung hiring date. Okay. Ulitin natin ha. So put equals VLOOKUP. Then click on your lookup value. In this case, gusto mo malaman yung hiring date na Mohammed. Comma. Select your table array. Kung nasan yung data mo. Comma. Put the column index number. Hiring date is the third column. So put 3, comma, and then false. So, syempre, the reason why we're using formula is para isang formula lang, malalabas na lahat ng data na kailangan mo. So, you don't have to type it every time, right? So, ideally, kapag kinopy mo to, pinaste mo dyan, dapat lalabas yung tamang data. So, let me refresh. Okay. So, in this case, nag-error siya. So, dito nag-error, okay lang kasi wala ka naman lookup value dito eh. So, okay lang yan. Pero dito, nag-error. So, bakit nag-error? Okay, so dito papasok yung dollar signs. Dollar signs, not the currency. So dito, yung dollar signs, it refers to absolute or relative references in Excel. Okay, ano ba yung absolute and relative references? Okay, so si Excel kasi, by default, it uses relative references. Ang ibig sabihin lang talaga nun, when you copy this formula, tapos pinis mo dyan, so meaning you went down 5 rows, di ba? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kapag pinis mo yung formula dyan, it means yung reference points mo will also move 5 rows down. Okay. So pag kinlik ko yung formula, makikita mo yung VLOOKUP, yung lookup value natin bumaba by 5 rows. From Beth, napunta siya dito. And even our table array, from here, napunta siya dito. So that's why error yung lumabas kasi wala siyang data dyan eh. Okay. Okay, so how do you use dollar signs? Yeah. So let me show you a simple example here. So kunyari gusto nating palabasin yung B2, cell B2. Ayan siya. But you want to keep the row the same. Fix lang yung row. Ayaw mong bumaba kay Imran, ayaw mong bumaba kay Wakas. So that means you have to put the dollar sign before the row number. Okay? Kasi ang row number natin is 2, which refers to row 2. Okay? So put the dollar sign there. Kasi if you don't put the dollar sign, alisin ko and then copy this, lalabas Imran, syempre. Okay? But if I put a dollar sign there, pag ibaba ko dito yung formula, name pa rin ang lalabas dyan. So, hindi siya gagalaw. So, that's what you mean by absolute reference. Hindi siya gagalaw. Now, what if you want to keep the column the same? So, from name, ayaw mong mapunta kay age, ayaw mong mapunta kay hiring date, ayaw mong mapunta kay nationality. Kasi kapag hindi mo lagyan ng dollar sign, gagalaw siya eh. Okay? So, what you do, kapag column naman yung gusto mo i-fix, syempre, yung dollar sign, ilalagay mo naman siya before the column heading, which is letter P. Okay? So, if you put the dollar sign and then paste the formula here and refresh, as you notice, nandun pa rin siya. Hindi siya gagalaw. Okay? Okay. So, next. Paano kung both row and column naman yung ayaw mong gumalaw? Siyempre, what you need to do is put a dollar sign before the row number and before the column heading. Okay? So, dollar sign here and then dollar sign here. So, that means kapag kinopy-paste ko yung formula dito, kahit saan ko pa yan ilagay, name lang yan. Hindi mag-iiba. Okay? So, okay. So ngayon, paano natin ilalagay yung dollar sign sa VLOOKUP formula? So dito, copy-paste ko ulit ha. So yung lookup value natin, okay lang kasi bumababa naman eh as we go along. Ang problema natin is yung array mo dito, di ba? Dapat nandito siya. Alright? So what you do is add dollar signs para hindi gagalaw yung both row and column. So just add dollar signs, click enter. Now, i-paste natin ulit yung formula. Okay na siya. So lumabas na yung hiring date ni Wakas. Alright? So ito, kaya ko nilagay dyan si Wakas for ano lang, demonstration purposes. Pero ilipat na natin siya. And by the way, may shortcut yan. Imbes na i-delete mo dyan, tatype mo na naman si Wakas dito. Diba? Ang tagal. So, ang shortcut lang talaga, i-select mo yung cell, tapos yung pointer mo, ilagay mo siya doon sa gilid. So, as you can see, nag-iiba yung pointer from cross to these arrows. So, pag naging arrows na, click and hold, lipat mo lang. Then, yan. So, nandun na siya. Alright? Okay, so may tanong ba so far with VLOOKUP and the use of dollar signs for absolute and relative referencing? Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next formula. So we're in our second formula already. Medyo matagal lang yung first one kasi I had to explain the dollar signs also. Okay. So ano ba yung next formula natin? The next formula is H lookup. And it searches a list for a value in your topmost row and returns the corresponding value from the adjacent rows. So kung yung VLOOKUP means vertical lookup, yung H lookup simply means horizontal lookup. Dahil dito, yung data mo is arranged horizontally instead of vertically. So di ba kanina yung name natin pa ganito, age pa ganyan, hiring pa ganyan. So in this case, you use age lookup kasi yung data mo was arranged like this. Yung name mo pa ganyan, yung age mo from left to right, from hiring date left to right, and so on. The reason why we use different types of formulas, kahit na same lang na may purpose niya, kasi hindi natin masabi kung ano yung format ng data na marireceive natin. Paiba-iba siya. So, it's helpful that you know all these formulas para kahit anong format mo siya matanggap, okay lang. So, how do you use HLOOKUP? It's very similar to VLOOKUP. Okay. So, in this case, just put equal sign, HLOOKUP. Select mo lang ulit yung lookup value mo. So, gusto mo malaman yung hiring date ni Beth, diba? Comma. Your table array, kung nasan yung data mo. Comma. And in this case, hiring date, gusto mong mapakita. So, pang ilan ba yung row si hiring date? Parang kanina binilang din natin na ilan yung column. So, ngayon bilangin natin. 1, 2, 3. So, si hiring date is pangatlo. So, pangatlong row. So, let's put 3, comma, and then false. So, that's the H lookup. Okay? So, ulitin ko ha. So, put equal sign, H lookup. Click on your lookup value kung gusto malaman yung data ni Beth. Comma. Your table array kung nasan yung data mo. Comma. Ngayon, nationality. Pang ilan ba yung nationality? Pang-apat. Diba? 1, 2, 3, 4. Pang-apat. So, type 4, comma, and then false. Okay. Alright. So, if you're new to this formula, medyo confusing siya at first, pero trust me, you'll get the hang of it. Practicein mo lang siyang 1 day or 2 days, parang sobrang bilis na siya gawin after that. Okay. So anyway, the more staffing team will be sharing with you the worksheet after this session para ma-practice mo rin siya on your own. Okay. Okay. So, ito, medyo mas complicated lang so yung VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, di ba kailangan mo pang bilangin lagi? Pang ilang bang row or column yung criteria na gusto mong ipakita? So in this case, binilang mo pa kung pang ilan yung hiring date. 1, 2, 3. Dito, binilang mo pa pang ilan ba yung nationality. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which takes a lot of time, lalo na kung marami kang gustong ipakitang data sa report mo. So, dyan papasok si match. Ano ba si match? So, mas complicated to because this will be a formula within a formula. Okay? What is match? Match searches for a value in the array or range of cells that you specify. Okay. Pakita ko ulit sa spreadsheet ha. Okay. Di ba kanina binilang pa natin pang ilan yung age, hiring date, or nationality? So pag ginamit mo yung match formula, lalabas na siya automatically. So you have to type in equal sign, match, open parenthesis, yung lookup value mo, in this case, age, comma, tapos isi-select mo yung row or column kung nasan ba yung data na yon. So, iselect natin yung name, age, hiring date, nationality, comma, and then 0. Okay. So yan, automatic, lalabas na siya na ibig sabihin, pangalawa siya dun sa data na sinelect mo. So kung kunyari, palitan ko to hiring date, mag-update na siya, pangatlo siya. Palitan ko nationality. Fresh. Lalabas dito, pang fourth na data siya dun sa sinelect mong area. Okay. So pag-combine na natin paano mo igagamitin yung match with VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP? Okay. So, bakit mo ba ginagamit yung match? Ba't hindi mo na lang bilangin? Kasi una, 'di ba? It's a waste of time nga, lalo na kung marami kang ginagamit na data. Second, minsan kasi, lalo na kapag may ibang gumagamit ng file mo, minsan kung hindi nila alam yung formula mo, nag-i-insert sila ng kung ano-ano sa report mo. So, kunyari, i-insert mo dito, let's go back to VLOOKUP. Ay, sige, ilagay din natin yung ano nila, gender. Male, male, female, male. So yung formula mo, nasira na. Kasi nilagay mo dyan pang third column si hiring date pero yung office mate mo, biglang dinagdagan ng gender. So pag ni-refresh mo yung worksheet mo, hindi na hiring date yung lumabas dun sa report mo, puro gender na yung lumabas. Okay, so that's one reason why we use match instead of counting na lang para mas yung formula mo, kahit anong mangyari sa data, walang mangyayari. Hindi mag-iiba. Okay? Okay. So, paano ba i-combine yung VLOOKUP and match? So, ulitin ko lang yung VLOOKUP formula muna, hindi ko muna ilalagay yung match. So, put equals VLOOKUP. Your lookup value, in this case, Beth, comma, again, your data, comma, hiring date, third column, di ba? 1, 2, 3. So put 3, comma, and then false. So wala pang match. Ngayon, paano mo ilalagay si match inside the VLOOKUP formula? So, ang tatanggalin mo lang dyan at papalitan is the index number. So yung 3. So pag tinanggal ko siya, dyan ko ilalagay yung match formula. So type in match. Ano ba yung lookup value dito? Yung hiring date. Diba? Comma. And select the rows containing those criteria. So yung name, age, hiring date, nationality. Comma, 0. So ngayon, wala ka nang nilagay na index number. And as long as you put the correct dollar signs, pag kinopy-paste mo yan dito, lalabas na yung tamang hiring date, nationality, age, naka-date format kasi, age ng kahit sinong gusto mong i-look up na tao. Okay. So meron, right? So hopefully that's clear. Again, the worksheets will be shared with you para pwede niyong laruin after the session. Okay. So quick trivia lang, bakit nilagay ni Georgette dito yung nationality? Kasi kung from HR ka, would the nationality matter? So quick trivia lang, kasi sa mga Saudi companies, they have a law in place in Saudi to protect their locals. Then, kasi di ba mura ang labor, syempre from the Philippines, for example. So if you go to Dubai, kunwari, di ba puro Pilipino? And they want to protect their local citizens also. So they have a law in Saudi wherein a certain company can only employ a certain percentage of expats. So hindi pwede empleyado nila lahat Pilipino. Kunyari, Saudi nila dapat for example, 50% of the total labor force Saudi. So may ganong law sa Saudi. That's why they also monitor the nationality of their staff. All right, so go. Okay, so we've already discussed 3 out of 6 Excel functions. So nag-discuss tayo ng VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and then match, and how to combine match with VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. Okay. So the next one is index. And the reason why we use index is because merong limitations si VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP for that matter. Diba, in-explain ko kanina, ang VLOOKUP, yung lookup value mo should be on the left-hand side. And the values that will be returned are either the age, hiring date, or nationality. So yung lagi siya, it goes from left to right. Again, yung lookup value mo nasa left, and then yung data na lalabas is on the right, whether it be the age, the hiring date, or the nationality. Okay. Right. So, ang limitation niya, hindi siya pwedeng, so it's always from left to right. Hindi siya pwedeng from right to left. Paano kung tinanong ka naman, okay, ilang taon na ba yung Filipino employee natin? Or kailan ba hinire yung Filipino employee natin? Since ang sinesearch mo nasa kanan, di ka pwedeng pumunta sa kaliwa using VLOOKUP. So yun yung problema with this formula. And even with the age lookup, di ba from top to bottom siya, hindi ka pwedeng mag-search from bottom to top. Hindi pwedeng pabaliktad. So doon pumapasok si index and match. Okay? Oops, sorry. Okay. So doon pumapasok si index and match. So we're on our 4th out of 6 formula na. Yung index gets a value at a given location in a range of cells based on the numeric position. So basically, ganito lang siya. Kapag sinelect mo to, tapos nilagay mo number 3, ang lalabas doon, Beth. So pupunta tayo sa spreadsheet. Let's go to index. So if I type in equals index, open parenthesis, iselect ko yung name, comma, and then gusto ko makuha yung third item. So in this case, si Beth yun, di ba? Kasi 1, 2, 3. Type in number 3, lalabas si Beth. Okay. So how is this an alternative to VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP? It's only an alternative to VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP if you use it with match. So it's always the combination of the two, index plus match. Okay. So paano siya gagamitin? So parang VLOOKUP and match to, it's a formula within a formula. And you do it like this. Index, di ba ang gusto mong mapalabas is yung age. Kunyari, ano yung age ng Filipino employee natin. So, i-select mo yan. Kung ano yung gusto mong lumabas. Excuse me. Comma, match, select mo yung criteria. Kasi gusto mo malaman ano yung age ng Filipino employee. So, select Filipino, which is in here. Comma, and then select the column containing that data, which is yung nationality column mo. Comma, 0. Which means you want the exact match. Hahanapin niya yung Filipino doon. Okay, close parenthesis to finish off the formula. Enter. So yan, lalabas na yung age ng Filipino employee. So parang ganun din, VLOOKUP din siya, pero again, hindi laging from left to right. Pwedeng right to left din. Okay. All right. Our fifth formula is XLOOKUP. So what's XLOOKUP? Kasi years ago, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP lang talaga yung alam namin. Wala pang XLOOKUP. So ano ba yung XLOOKUP? So actually, mas mabilis tong gawin than VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. Ang problema lang, it's not yet available in the older versions of Excel. Actually, this is also not available in Google Sheets. Pero sa mga latest version ng Excel, available na siya. So since I'm using an older version of Excel, I won't be able to demonstrate it to you, but I have a sample visual here kung paano siya ginagawa. Okay. So type mo lang equals XLOOKUP and then yung lookup value mo. Again, sa example na ito, ang nilolookup mo is yung employee ID number 8389. So just click on that cell. Again, put comma. Nasaan ba yung data na yon? So yung mga employee IDs. So i-select mo lang yung B5 to B14, which is this. And then comma. Nasaan ba yung mga data na gusto mong i-display? In this case, you want to display the employee name. So, i-select mo lang yung range of cells containing the employee names. So, that's C5 to C14. So, pag in-enter mo, automatic lalabas na yung employee and department. Okay? Okay. The next one is filter. So filter, hindi ito yung filter na pag pumunta ka sa spreadsheet, pag sinelect mo, data, filter. Hindi yun. So this is a filter formula. So what is the filter formula? So it allows you to filter a range of data based on the criteria that you define. Available lang to sa Excel 365 and I checked, it's also available in Google Sheets. So pwede mo rin siyang gawin doon. So what's amazing with this formula is mag-type lang na isang formula without adding formula to the other cells, lalabas na to lahat. So kung kunyari sinabi sa'yo, sige nga, i-display mo nga sa summary mo yung lahat ng stores sa North Luzon. I-add mo lang tong isang formula, magdi-display na ito lahat. So, how does that work? So, punta tayo sa Google Sheets, ha? So, let me delete this. So, just type in equals, filter, open parenthesis, and then yung mga data na yung mga data mo na pwedeng i-display. Oops, sorry. Yung mga data mo na pwedeng i-display. Comma. And then, since gusto mo lumabas lang is yung mga NCR stores, select mo lang dyan yung region. Equals NCR. So meaning NCR stores lang dapat yung lumabas. Close parenthesis to close off the formula. Then enter. So lalabas na automatically lahat ng fields, yung store, region, and sales and targets for all NCR stores. So kahit palitan mo to, gawin mong let's say, display na lang pala the North Luzon stores. Pag pinalitan yan, automatically mag-update na rin yung list mo. Yeah, so that's how the filter function works. So I've already discussed 6 Excel formulas. Before we go on a break, sana okay pa lahat. Naka-block ba sa screen? Okay na ba?
Yes, we can see it.
All right, thanks. So, before we go on a break, let's do a quick game. So, whoever wins this game will get a 500 peso GCash prize. We only have 6 questions. So, ang mechanics ng game na ito, I will spin the wheel and then kung saan tumapat yung kung saan letter tumapat, let's say tumapat sa letter V. You have to tell me anong formula yung natutunan nyo today that starts with that letter. So for example, VLOOKUP. And then, parang bring me din to, get any object in your home or in your office that starts with the letter V. Okay, so when you're done, just raise your hand and our more staffing team will call you to show your item and at the same time to tell us ano yung formula that starts with that letter. Okay, is everything clear sa mechanics ng game? Clear naman, JC, no?
Yes, clear.
Okay,
Adi.
all right. Okay, so JC, hindi ko nakikita. So, ikaw na mag-monitor sa participants natin. Right. So, let's start. Okay, X. So, show us an object that starts with the letter X and tell us the function that starts with this letter.
Nico. Ano? Who else?
So, whoever has the highest points by the end of the game will win the GCash prize.
Aldrin. Can you show us an item that starts with X? Kailangan may item you're holding. Can you tell us? Meron ba, Aldrin?
Mahirap yata kasi yung letter
Mahirap
X, no?
na yung X. Sige, pagbigyan
Okay,
natin
sige.
si Aldrin.
Okay. Yung next na lang yung kailangan may item.
Okay, 1 point for Aldrin.
Okay, all right.
Eden,
So next.
meron kang item?
Yes.
Ay, wait lang. Merong item si
Okay.
Eden.
For
Can you
X.
show us? Ayun. Meron si Eden.
Xylophone toy.
Xylophone
Oy,
toy.
galing.
Okay, ano? What's your answer?
Okay.
Yeah. X look up.
Okay.
Yes. All
Yeah,
right.
X look up.
Okay, sorry
Correct.
Aldrin, mas ginalingan ni Eden. So 1 point for Eden.
All right, next. Excellent.
Excellent.
Let's do another spin.
Hi.
I. So any item that starts with letter I. And what's the function that starts with this letter?
Okay, si Eunice may sagot. Can you show us an object that starts with letter I? Ice. Wala ka bang ice dyan? Okay.
Baka may ballpen ka dyan.
Wait lang. Sabihin mo. Ito po ba? Ito po ballpen.
Ayan, may ballpen ink. Sige, pasado. Eunice, 1 point. Okay, next. Konti na lang, guys.
So we only have 6 functions. Ito na yung third.
F.
F.
Ako, meron ako dito. Saka na yan.
Oh,
Ay,
go.
dami sumagot. Guys, ano muna? Item muna. Okay, Jo Marie. Sino to? Mary Lock. Paunahan. Ano yan? Folder. Ay, si Christian din. Meron. Fan. Okay, sino makakasabi ng sagot? 4F.
Yun naman.
Filter. Filter.
Yes.
Okay, for Mary Lock. Okay.
Correct. All right. So, 3 functions na. 3 more.
Okay, guys. Ano nyo agad? Open nyo agad yung... Unmute agad kayo para paunahan. H.
Look up house.
Sino yun?
I think
H.
that's that.
House.
Da.
Da. Okay, anong answer sa H?
Age look up.
Okay. O nako, magkakatype pa ba tayo? Okay, 2 more.
All right. Ay, H na lang. Go another spin.
Diyan.
B. Guys, ano agad kayo item and unmute.
Oo, mamaya, may ginagawa.
Ayun, si Dante. Ano yan? Ano yan? Vacuum. Ano sagot? Ha? Unmute, Dante.
VLOOK up po, VLOOK.
Okay.
Correct.
Grabe yung effort nung vacuum. Okay, so isa na lang.
Okay, so,
Isa na
syempre
lang.
yung last letter natin is M.
Oo, so
Letter
Eden,
M.
Eunice, Mary Lacda, and Dante, paunahan sa inyo.
Letter M.
Unmute, item,
Medicine.
sagot.
Match.
Ano? Match. Medicine match. Eunice. Ayan. So,
Okay
si
na,
Eunice
meron na tayong winner.
nanalo. Yes, si Eunice.
Alright. Okay, sige,
Prepare.
may consolation prize para naman yung mga ibang nakasagot.
Okay.
Meron tayong contact number nila, JC, di ba, for the cash prize?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Huge will reach out to them for the
Okay.
cash prize. Ayan, may pang-milk na sila. Okay. So let's go on a 5-minute break. Yung minutes break. 5-minute break and we'll start again. Thank you guys. See you in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Ready for more learning?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay,
let's
we
begin.
start again. Yes. Okay.
All right. Okay, so after we discuss the 6 Excel functions, medyo crash course to ha. So, let's do some charting techniques naman. Okay, so charting techniques, I'm sure all of you has some experience in creating Excel charts. So, yung mga usual charts na ginagawa natin sa Excel are the bar charts, the pie charts, and line charts. So, Excel has different types of charts, which allows you to choose the one that best fits your data. So paano ba gumawa ng chart? Madali lang. So if we go back to our spreadsheet, kunwari, you want to plot or to create a bar graph showing the age of your employees, click on insert, and then lalabas na dyan yung iba't ibang chart commands. So aside from these ones, you can also click on the recommended charts. So Excel will actually suggest to you different types of charts already. Pero kung hindi ka satisfied dyan, you can click all charts and doon mo makikita lahat ng charts available in Excel. So again, this is a crash course. So hindi ko na i-discuss sa inyo kung ano yan isa-isa. So, but I encourage you to familiarize yourselves on your own with the different types of Excel charts. Tapos explore nyo lang. Okay, so ang charting techniques na ituturo ko sa inyo today, there are 3. And the first one is the waterfall chart. Yung waterfall chart, it's kind of intimidating kapag titignan mo. Pero may bagong Excel feature na kasi ngayon that you can do it in 1 minute lang. Super bilis lang niya. Dati, like in 2009, kailangan mano-mano pa namin to ginagawa. So matagal siyang gawin. Pero ngayon, a few clicks and then you have this chart already. So, pero before we create this chart, let's discuss muna what is a waterfall chart. Okay, so a waterfall chart shows you the running total as values are added or subtracted. For example, if you want to analyze your sales data, in this case, binigyan ka ng 2021 sales and 2022 sales. Pero tinanong ka ng boss mo, okay, tumaas yung sales natin from 11.7 million to 12.5 million. Pero, anong reason? Kasi kapag na-analyze mo siya ng ganun, dun mo lang may intindihan, okay, it's because of this pala. And then moving forward, ma-apply mo yan sa strategies nyo eh. Diba? So, kung ito nag-work, okay, let's do it again. Kung ito hindi nag-work, okay, let's not do that again. So, that's one way of using the waterfall chart. So, in this case, we have the sales performance of all stores in 2021 and 2022. And tinanong tayo, okay, bakit? So, we can also break it down per region. So, ito naka-breakdown yung sales performance by region. So, naka-split siya Mindanao, NCR, North Luzon, South Luzon, and Visayas. And very quickly, isang tingin mo lang, malakikita mo na kagad, diba? Na, okay, bumaba pala yung sales natin sa Mindanao kasi nag-decline siya ng 463,000. Pero, despite that, nabukabi ng ibang stores kasi yung NCR tumaas ng 360, North Luzon tumaas ng 28, South Luzon tumaas ng 400, and Visayas increased by more than 400. So kahit na bumaba yung Mindanao mo, tumaas pa rin kasi from 11.7 naging 12.5 ka because of the performance of the other regions. Okay, so ito, sales movement. Paano mo to magagamit, let's say, in supply chain? So yung supply chain, kunyari, ang presyo ngayon ng manok ay that last year, 160 pesos. Ngayon, naging 180 pesos na. So, anong reason? So, you can break it down per supplier. For example, kasi dati bumibili tayo kay San Miguel at 160 pero naging 180 na siya. Yung isang supplier natin, si SMFI, same price lang naman. So, pag napakita mo yun sa waterfall chart, makikita mo kagad na, okay, because of San Miguel, tumaas yung presyo. So again, magagawa mo siya sa iba't ibang bagay, whether it's flight hours, sa marketing, you can break it down per product category. So yun, marami siyang application. Okay, so let me demonstrate how to create the waterfall chart. So I promise this will be very quick. Okay. So if you have the 2022 sales and 2021 sales of each region, all you have to do first is to get the difference. Okay? So equal sign, super dali lang. Ano yung sales ngayon, year na to, before, minus yung sales dati, last year. So calculate mo lang yun. Makita mo yung difference about region. Next. lagay mo dito yung starting value. Starting value mo is of course yung performance last year. So that's 11.7 million. C9. Kopyahin mo lang dyan. So type in 2021 sales. Next, kunin mo yung breakdown. So yung breakdown ng per region ngayon, Mindanao, NCR, North Luzon, South Luzon, and Visayas. Tapos ilagay mo lang dyan yung difference na kinalculate mo kanina. Okay? And then lastly, ano yung ending value? So that's the 2022 sales value. So capture lang natin equals B9. Okay. So all you have to do is to format your data this way. Select the data, go to insert, and then click on waterfall chart. Okay. So super bilis, lumabas na agad yung data mo. Pero kung mapapansin mo, ito total value to, bakit dito nag-start? So that's the only adjustment that you need to make. I-click mo siya, right-click, go to Format Data Point, and then take Set as Total. So, ayan na yung waterfall chart mo. And some other companies also call this a sales bridge. Okay? And of course, maliban dun sa pinapakita nating charts wherein we want to show relevant data, maganda din na pagandahin natin yung charts natin whenever we have presentation. So, ano bang way paano pagandahin yung waterfall chart? First, since this is a bridge, pwede mong alisin yung gaps between the bars. So, just click on it. Oops, sorry. Click, right-click, Format Data Series. So makikita mo dyan may gap width. Pwede mo siyang gawing 0. Para mas malinis siya tingnan. So ngayon, dikit-dikit na yung charts mo. And makikita mo yung movement. Kapag tumaas dito, bumaba siya up to here because of Mindanao. Pero tumaas again, unti-unti, because of the other regions. Okay. What else? Delete nyo na yung lines. Yung mga unnecessary stuff sa charts nyo, unnecessary elements, you can delete them na para mas clean looking tignan yung charts nyo. So that's our sales movement chart or sales waterfall chart 2022 versus 2021. Okay. What's the next chart that we're going to discuss today? And yun yung sales versus last year versus target. Okay. So this one is very straightforward lang naman. Ano ba yung actual versus target? So basically yung chart mo shows a comparison of your actuals with your target. So yung ibang companies kasi pinapakita lang nila ng ganito. So kunyari ito yung actual mo. And ito yung and then yung targets mo, katabi lang niya. So kapag ganito kasi yung data mo, lalo na if you have 2 points of comparison, you have last year sales and target sales, mahirap siyang basahin, di ba? Parang pag tignan mo siya ng ganyan mabilis, okay, what is the chart telling me? It's hard to interpret. So one way of charting this is to create a chart like this one. Yung pinakita ko kanina sa deck. Okay. So how do you create that chart? So you have the actual sales this year, last year sales and target sales in this data or in these columns. Kailangan mo lang mag-add ng 2 columns. And itong 2 columns na to will help you format your chart in a way na mas maganda siya tignan. So ano yung 2 columns na to? That's the max invisible and the max outline. Okay, what is max invisible? Gagawin mo lang, kunin mo lang yung maximum value ng sales data mo. So type in equals max, which is meaning kukunin niya yung maximum value. Plus just a random number. Kunyari, 50,000 para lang may buffer. Then copy mo lang yung formula na yan. Yung max outline, yung values niyan, you just have to copy the max invisible values. So equals, copy. So as you can see, isang value lang lahat yung nandyan. Alright? So pag na-add mo na yung dalawang columns na yan, you just have to select your data, then insert a column chart. Okay. So una, ganyan siya, itsura niya. So magulo tignan. And dyan papasok yung formatting techniques natin. Okay. So maraming charts na available sa Excel, pero sometimes it boils down to how you format your charts para mas easy to understand yung presentation. Okay. So what do we do para gumanda yung chart natin? Your 2022 sales data, wala ka nang gagalawin dyan. So you only have to format the 4 other columns. Okay. So the orange column first, select, right-click, format data series. Okay. So i-reformat lang muna natin siya. Go to fill, tanggalin mo yung fill niya. So blank lang dapat, no fill. Yung border dapat solid line. Okay. And then pakapalan mo lang yung border niya para mas visible. So let's make it 1.75. Okay. And let's change the color to orange. Let's keep that. Okay. Just do the same to the next one. Again, no fill. Add the border. Choose the color for your border. In this case, let's choose yellow. And adjust the width. Again, para mas makapal and mas visible siya sa chart. So let's make it 1.75 also. Same with the orange bars. Okay, last two. This one, again, no fill, tulad nung kanina, solid fill, pero dito, you can choose any color. Dapat ang color nitong chart bars na to is the same as the color of the background. Okay, so in this case, yung background natin sa chart is color white. So let's choose white. And then yung width natin, let's make it thicker. Kanina, 1.75. Let's make it 2. Okay. And then lastly, sa last chart natin, again, no fill lang ulit. Add a solid border. And then let's make it gray. Kunwari, yan. Any color naman. Pero gray looks nice. Okay. So, ayan na after you've formatted it. And paano siya magiging yung chart na pinakita ko kanina? Mabilis lang. So, you have to click on it. Right-click. Format data series. And then, adjust the series overlap. Currently, negative 27% siya eh. Pero, if you adjust it to 100%, it automatically becomes like that. Okay. So, I'll just make some other formatting enhancements. Tanggalin ko lang yung lines para mas maganda tingnan. Yung gap width, di ba masyadong manipis yung lines? So, i-adjust natin. Gawin natin 100% na lang yung gap width para mas kita siya. Okay. Okay, now let's compare. Kapag tignan mo tong chart na to, you want to compare sales versus last year versus target. Di ba parang mahirap tignan? Compare dito, kita mo na kagad. Kasi if the blue line, your 2022 sales is below the 2021 sales, ibig sabihin, bumagsak na yung sales mo. Kita mo kagad yung comparison eh. Ngayon, yung 2022 target mo is the yellow line and makita mo yung blue lines, lahat sila actually higher than the yellow line. So that means all the stores were able to hit their target. So that's one way of applying formatting techniques to your charts para mas maganda yung presentations. Yeah. You'll be able to see the difference between the two charts. Okay. All right. Last charting technique. Bibilisan natin. We have 40 minutes left. Is the pivot table and pivot chart. Okay. Ano ba yung pivot table and pivot chart? So it lets you rapidly analyze large amounts of unsummarized data in different ways. Let me demonstrate para mas mabilis nating maintindihan ano ba yung pivot table. Yung pivot table and pivot chart, it always goes hand in hand. So linked sila sa isa't isa. So kunyari, ito yung data natin. Meron kang date, meron kang stores, regions, and yung sales data mo. So if you select these data, or let's do it this way, select natin lahat to. Click on insert, and then click pivot table. So let's do the pivot table first before the pivot chart. Okay. So may prompt na lalabas and it will tell you ano yung sinelect mong range and kung saan mo siya ilalagay. So meaning, if yung pivot table gusto mo sa new worksheet, just you don't have to change it. Ayan na yung default new worksheet. Pero kung gusto mo na yung pivot table mo, ilagay mo siya dito. Sa same worksheet, you have to choose existing worksheet and then choose the location. So kunyari, dito mo siya gusto ilagay. Click OK. So dyan siya lalabas. Right? So let me undo because I want to put it in a different worksheet. Again, pivot table and then new worksheet lang. Okay. Alright. So ano ba yung pivot table? Actually, this is an amazing feature kasi marami ka nang ma-analyze kahit hindi ka nag-sum if, nag-sum, nag-count, wala ka ng formulang itatype. So, etong pivot table lang gagawin mo. Right? So, pivot table has 4 main areas. That's filters, columns, rows, and values. Okay, so let's start with values. Ano ba yung nilalagay mo sa values? Values are the data that you want to measure. So in this case, kunwari ang task sa'yo is to create a sales trend chart. Gusto niya makita kung tumataas ba or bumababa yung benta niyo. Okay, so in this case, let me click 2022 sales kasi yun yung gusto kong i-monitor or i-measure. So, pag kinlik ko siya, mapapansin mo na punta na siya dito kagad sa values. And automatically, in your chart, lumabas na kagad dito yung total sales value ng 2022. So, that's, format lang natin para mas mabilis basahin. That's 12.5 million. Okay, so let's go back to the data lang para makita nyo na 12.5 million talaga siya. So, pag sinelect ko yan, kita nyo yung sum dito, it's 12.5 million. So, hindi ka naglagay ng kahit anong formula, hindi ka nag-sum, sum if, automatic, lumabas na siya. Okay? Pero again, yung instruction sa'yo is to create a sales trend chart. And kung total sales lang yung papakita mo, hindi yan trend. There has to be a time element to it, right? Kung nag-i-increase or bumabagsak. So, how do you add the time element? Click on the date. Okay. So, makita mo, lumabas na yung sales data automatically per day. Lumabas din yung grand total. Alright? So, check natin let's sum these values and it's 12.5 and it matches the grand total. Okay. So, may time element ka na, may trend ka na. Yung rows dito, which is an area of the pivot table, as you notice, nung din lumabas yung dates dyan, the unique dates in your data appeared in the rows in your leftmost column sa table mo. So again, yung unique dates in your data, lumabas siya as rows in your table. That's why it's called rows. Okay? For example, you want to break it down per region also. So since nag-appear siya dyan sa rows, makita nyo, nadagdag yung breakdown na naman dito sa rows ng table natin. Pero ang hirap kasi tignan kapag ganyan So let's transfer it to columns. Okay. So nung tinransfer natin sa columns, yung unique fields, yung unique data natin sa region, which are Mindanao, NCR, North Luzon, South Luzon, Visayas, appeared as columns. So that's why you call it columns here. So they appeared as columns in your table. Okay. All right. So that's how pivot tables work. Kung gusto mo naman, ayaw mo ng sum of sales, gusto mo i-monitor kung ilang beses ka nakabenta, hindi yung sum. Pwede mong palitan yan dito. Value field settings, imbes na sum, gawin mong count. Okay. So again, that's an overview, yung pivot tables and pivot charts natin. Okay, so nakagawa na tayo ng pivot table, di ba? How do we create the pivot chart? So just click any cell in your pivot table, go to insert, and then click on pivot chart. Okay. So, ayan, parang yung kanina lumabas na yung different types of charts that you can do. Okay. Click OK. So yan, automatically lumabas na yung sales mo per day per region. And di ba I mentioned kanina that the pivot table and the pivot chart are always linked to each other. So that means kapag palitan mo yung pivot table mo, ay ayoko na pala mapakita yung per region sales, total sales na lang. So let me untick region and automatically nag-update na yung pivot chart mo. Okay? So that's how pivot table and pivot charts work. So may hindi ako na-discuss dito kanina kasi diba we have 4 areas and we discussed values, rows, and columns. Pero hindi ko din-discuss yung filter. Mamaya ko na yan i-discuss when we discuss how to make dynamic reports. So that's for the next part of our learning session. Okay. All right, so ngayon na-discuss ko na 3 types of charting techniques. Are there any questions?
Any questions, guys? Pwede niyong type sa chat box. Verifications. Kinaya ba? Kinaya niyo ba?
Kaya ba?
Honestly, ako nahilong-hilo talaga.
Pero Excel user ka ba talaga, JC?
Kailangan. So, actually, this is very helpful for me kasi kapag meron akong Excel sheet na binabasa, tapos kailangan ko siyang i-copy, fini-figure out ko lang yung formula. So, puhulaan ko na lang. Hindi ko kasi mahirap siya mag-gets. Pero the way you delivered it was very helpful and correct si Aldrin. Konting need practice. So, I think the worksheets that we will be getting will be really helpful para ma-apply namin tong natutunan namin for today.
Yeah, I agree. I think kailangan talaga ng hands-on. Since we only have 2 hours, I have to demonstrate and hindi natin siya magagawa ng sabay. So I encourage everyone talaga to practice with the worksheets after the learning session.
And also, guys, we will be posting this sa YouTube channel namin. You will have since this is recorded, you will have the link. So you can review and you can watch the video while working on the worksheet para talaga mas, ano tawag dito? Yun.
Sundan natin.
Sabi ko sa'yo, nauubos yung utak ko dito sa formula. So, ubos na siya talaga. So, ayan. Okay. Meron pa ba?
So let's do another 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Tapos doon na tayo sa
Okay.
last part.
Okay, 5 minutes. We'll be back 5:36. Yes, we can
Okay.
start.
Alright. So, nasa last part na tayo ng learning session and parang ito yung culminating activity. Now that natutunan nyo na yung mga functions and charting techniques, paano mo siya bubuin into a dashboard? Okay, so in creating dynamic dashboards, I'll be teaching you last 2 techniques na lang paano mo gagawing dynamic ng dashboard. So, let's hang in there. Konti na lang. Okay? Okay. So, the first way of making your dashboard dynamic is through the use of pivot table slicers. So, what does it do? It enables you to filter the data when you select one or more than one points in the slicer box. Ito yung slicer box. Okay? So, pakita ko sa inyo paano siya ginagawa sa spreadsheet. Alright. So, kanina, di ba, gumawa tayo ng pivot table? Ito yung sales trend natin per day for 2022. Pero ngayon, yung sa dashboard natin, di ba kanina may filter per region. So, dito papasok yung slicer. So, ayan. So, just click on your pivot table. Go to pivot table analyze. And then click on insert slicer. So, yung slicer mo is per region, right? So, click on region and then click OK. So, yan. Automatic lalabas na siya dyan. So, kailan mo ginagamit to? So, kunyari sa dashboard mo, you only want to show total sales pero meron kayong area managers, gusto malaman nila, ano ba yung sales ko lang sa Mindanao? So, i-click nyo lang yung Mindanao, lalabas na yung data niya for that region. Click NCR, lalabas yung sales for NCR. So, and so on. And then if you want to go back to the default setting wherein all regions are selected, just click on this one. Yan, babalik siya sa default. So, yun na yan. Yun na yung slicer. Kaya, ang gagawin mo lang, ika-copy-paste mo lang to, dalawa. And if you go to your dashboard, ipe-paste mo lang siya dyan. So when you send out your report, dynamic siya. Kung gusto lang nila makita total and per region, pwede na nilang galawin charts by themselves. Yeah. So that's one out of two techniques. Ano yung second technique? The second technique is data validation. So what is data validation? Data validation is used to restrict the type of data or the values that users enter into a cell. So maraming application si data validation. Pero ang i-explain ko lang sa inyo ngayon is yung common use of data validation. So most commonly, this is used to make drop-down lists in Excel. So paano siya gawin sa Excel? Let's go back to the spreadsheet. Click on any cell kung saan mo gusto ilagay yung drop-down list mo. Go to data and then click on data validation. So again, marami siyang possibility. Pero kung gusto mo gumawa ng drop-down list, just click on list. And then here sa source, kailangan mong i-type in yung different options. So dito, kunyari gusto ko lang mapakita yung top 10 and bottom 10. Just type it in, then click OK. So, pag sinelect mo yung cell na yan, it's best that you change its color para mas visible siya. Kasi if you notice, kapag in-unclick ko siya, nawawala yung parang drop-down na arrow. So, para mas pansin siya sa report mo, change it to a different color. So yeah, when you click on it, meron ng drop-down na lalabas. Tapos lalabas na dyan yung different options. Okay? So anong use niyan? Kasi pwede mo yan gamitin with your VLOOKUP or index or match. So as you notice, pag dito sa dashboard na to, kapag bottom 10 yung pinili ko, ang i-display ng dashboard ko is yung bottom 10 stores based on their performance. So makikita mo dito versus last year, ito yung may pinakapangit na performance kasi negative 47% siya. So pababa ng pababa. But kung piliin natin yung top 10, yung formula mo kasi is arranged in a way such that pag kinlink ko yung top 10, ang i-VLOOKUP niya, yung top 10 naman. So pag i-refresh ko yung Excel spreadsheet ko, lalabas na yung top 10. Okay? So meaning, you're showing the top performers. Roble for example, grew by 63% versus last year, and it's displayed as your top 1 store in the list. Okay? So that's how you use data validation. Right. So that ends our session for today. Again, all the worksheets will be shared with you by the more staffing team so you can practice. And dun, as you practice, dun nyo talaga mas ma-absorb kung paano nyo ma-apply yung mga formulas that we discussed today sa work nyo and sa kung saan mga industry kayo ngayon.
So thank you, Georgette, for that very informative presentation. Before we proceed with the Q&A, may I request everyone to open our cameras for a quick group picture. Ayan. Let's see the faces of our guests for today. Ready? Huge, ready? Game?
Sorry. Georgette, please stop share screen. Thank you.
Ayan.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you.
Ayan. Thank you, everyone. So you can check that out in our social media in the coming days and leave a comment. Now we will go ahead and take some time for questions from our participants. You can type your questions into the chat box, or you could click the raise hand option to ask Georgette directly. Meron ba tayong clarification? Oh. Any questions, guys? Huwag na kayo mahiya. Habang nandito pa si Miss Georgette, let's ask her expertise. Index two-dimensional po. Can you... Ayan. James, do you have any question?
Ayan. May question ako. Ay, naririnig niyo ba ako? Baka mamaya hindi.
Yes,
Hindi
yes,
naman.
yes.
Ayan. May question ako, Miss Georgette. Kasi sa Excel to sa Excel to kasi ginagawa. So, how different ba sa Google Sheet? Kunyari sa Excel, madali lang. Sa Google Sheet ba, ganun rin ba kadali? Parang ganun.
Actually, very similar naman yung application ng formulas. The only reason why I actually demonstrated sa Excel, kasi for the longest time, yun yung ginagamit ko. So, may mga keyboard shortcuts kasi sa Microsoft Excel na iba sa Google Sheet. So, since sanay na ako sa keyboard shortcut sa Excel, it's hard for me to transition to Google Sheet. Pero in terms of using the formulas that we discussed today, pareho lang naman sila. Yeah. So hopefully that answers the question.
Anyone else? Okay, so Georgette, on behalf of our company, More Staffing, we would like to express our gratitude for your willingness to take part as our speaker in this learning session. It was very interesting and very informative. I believe that everyone has received a lot of beneficial information from it, even from different industries. We'd also like to thank everyone who participated in our third learning session. Is this the third or fourth?
Sorry.
Sixth. Okay, sixth learning session. Thank you for your support and for making it a success. It was a great pleasure to meet all of you. And as our way of acknowledging your support, by next week, we will be sending out an e-certificate of your participation and fillable worksheet as follow through on the learning session. So, yeah, Ms. Georgette, we offer this certificate to you as a thank you for being our host for today, being our lecturer for today. So thank you for sharing your expertise. For sure, makakatulong sa amin na nag-join today. Even we came from different background. Ayan. Sabi ni Eunice, thank you so much. Miss Georgette, nauna lang yung interview para sa pivot table. Pero, ayan. Nauna yung interview. Okay. Ayan.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Hopefully, may natutunan kayo today.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, contact me na lang din kapag may questions kayo. Some people I know here personally din naman. So, message me in case you have any questions also.
Ayan. So we still have upcoming learning sessions in the following weeks that you might also be interested in. So we have time management and productivity, essentials for work-life balance. Ayan. Para to sa mga follow through sa ginawa na ni Georgette today to make your work easier, matapos earlier. Then we have this essentials for work-life balance this coming July 2020. July 22, next week. So if you guys are interested, please don't forget to follow our social media sites. We have Facebook and Instagram and our website also for further details on our upcoming learning session. Yeah. Please also subscribe on our YouTube channel so makikita niyo ulit yung recording session for today. Ayan. Thank you and have a great evening.